Who knew that our guy Austin was so fluent in Spanish? Let's get into it.
You better watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets claws real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score. Never getting bored, loves the blood and gore. Always wanting more, feed him from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the force departed. If you start shit, you'll be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped. You'll be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
And welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D Rose. Yes, what is going on? And welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt. D Rose is on that side of your screen. And we are here to talk to y'all this weekend about UFC Mexico, baby. I got my Mexican flag in the background. We are in high elevation, so that's going to play a big part of this weekend, D-Rose. I'm excited to talk about it, and that exactly being UFC Fight Night, Moreno versus Royval. We're going to give you our preview predictions and picks. But before we get to that, we do have some UFC fight news and announcements to go over. And also a quick recap of UFC 298. D-Rose, let the people know how you have been over this past weekend, brother.
Things have been great over this way, except for trying to dodge the ick, man. This stuff is out here, so just as far as trying to maintain our health, maintain our wealth here, but everything's been good. Just as far as betting, got my butt not exactly busted. I ended up doubling up, but didn't quite have a great weekend like you guys. And I had to eat the beans, but hey, luckily I ended up getting the well flavored beans. So at least for this time, I was able to dodge the bullet.
Yeah, dude. I know the chat is excited to get into it. We got some fantastic fights to talk about. So glad you had an all right weekend, D-Rose, but I'm trying to keep, as you said, our luck from this past weekend, trying to keep it rolling into this upcoming weekend. So let's shout out the chat real quick, and then let's get into it, brother. Another Golden Wednesdays with the boy. Get hype. Shout out Lush Lemaine for stopping by here. Lush Lemaine is that guy. And the package is on the way, D-Rose. So as soon as I get it, I'll send you, and you'll have a new addition to your set, my guy. Let's go, Lush, from J Wolf. Here we go. Otra noche con los amigos. Estoy muy emocionado. I don't know if I said that right. I'm not fluent in Spanish. However,
that sounds right.
Lush clearly is C. Yo, Lush, I did
more fluent than me.
Yo, Lush, I didn't know you were fluent in Spanish. I mean, clearly he is. I mean, look at the finesse on that, dude. See.
I mean, that's just mind blowing the way that he's able to just be bilingual, and I mean Dora the Explorer couldn't explain it any better, man.
Dude, it's absolutely nuts. What's going on, Nate Craig? Appreciate you stopping by tonight, brother. Man, you know how I do it, bro. How I do it all, brother. Indeed. Lush is look at him. Oh, just show it off now, Lush. Dude, just show it off, dude.
Oh, from the top, bro. Oh man, Lush.
Oh,
don't do him like that, Lush.
Derrick Rose retirement has not treated him well. Oh man, it looks like they're comparing you to the other D Rose.
See, that's why he's known as the other D Rose. No, I'm kidding. He's a little bit older than me, but a running joke. I used to tell people that he was my cousin, and And because I'm a car salesman, so people would be like, "Oh, so D Rose." I'm like, "Yeah, that's my cousin, bro." They're like, "What, really?" And then I can't bullshit, so then I start laughing afterwards. But yeah, I get people with that every now and then.
Hey, you know, whatever it takes, I got you, dude. Dude, being at UFC 298 was awesome. Sorry, D Rose, love you, bro, but I told you 27 versus 35 years old, indeed. And then we got Chabs in here. Viva Mexico! So we've got at least one supporter in here. Assassin Baby, one fight away from getting his belt back, says Stephen Ewell. And then lastly, Lush Lemaine in here with the laughter. Excited to get into this, though, D Rose. But as I said, we do have some real quick fights. Just UFC 298 main headlines recap. Me and D-Rose did our live post-fight reaction this past weekend. So if you missed it, feel free to go back and watch it. We gave you our immediate thoughts and reactions, right as soon as the pay-per-view was over. And just aside from that, D-Rose, anything that we didn't say Saturday night that you kind of feel like you should bring back up now when it comes to the main event this past weekend of Volk versus Ilya, man?
I mean, I guess really just in terms of, I know we kind of touched on it a little bit going out on the pod, but kind of got a couple of days to breathe on it now. I think a lot of the debate has been about who could be potentially next for the featherweight title shot. Volk was very vocal about want to make sure that he does get his media rematch. You got Max Holloway out there. Movsar Evloev is calling for a title shot. So out of them three, or potentially Sean O'Malley, we saw that he said he would want to maybe do that as well. So is there anybody in particular that you see maybe getting the title shot next at 145? Do you see them do the immediate rematch or moving on?
I think we're going to have to look for this weekend, brother, because, dude, how big of a fight would Ilya versus Yair be? Like for the Spanish speaking crowd, dude. That would be a massive fight. Pretty much Spain versus Mexico, dude. They would probably do that in Spain as well. I think it would be a fantastic fight. It would be super fun. Probably not too much grappling going on, dude, but I think that'd be a absolute banger. So depending on how this weekend plays out, maybe Yair, but if not, I suspect Volk will probably get a rematch. How about you, man?
Yeah, I think this is a part of the matchmaking that I didn't maybe particularly like with Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. Not to say that that's not a great fight, but I mean, I still think Volk could get an immediate title shot, but still be able to have enough time to be able to kind of regroup, because that's two brutal knockouts in a 4 month time span. So, as far as him jumping in there, and if they try to throw him in there, say maybe July or August, Volk can't afford to miss too much time. But I would say, man, if they didn't put Max in that fight with Justin Gaethje, I mean, that would kind of be the perfect fight, because I would love to see that matchup with Max and Ilya, just to give Volk that break, and then the winner of that fight could fight Volk. Volk comes back and fight, because you could arguably say that Max and Volk are the two greatest of this era as far as 145 goes. So, and Ilya's already beaten Volk, so why not try to either give him Max or try to test Max's chin and see if he's the only one who could withstand the blows outside of Josh Emmett.
Dude, it just kind of goes to show, dude, how good is Bryce Mitchell. Like, I was watching clips like this week of like Bryce Mitchell's head movement and Ilya just swinging for the fences and Bryce Mitchell just ducking and
dude, let me tell you,
over.
Dude, how tough is Josh Emmett? I mean, how many times did he get dropped and wobbled? And dude, you can make the argument that he came out and won the 5th round after getting just absolutely battered in 10-7 in that 4th round, dude. So yeah, just look at the unbelievable toughness on Josh Emmett, and then you see what Ilya has been able to do to like Bryce Mitchell and Volk. So he's just an absolute murderer. But yeah, shout out to Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett.
Yeah, dude. Ilya's going to be a problem, dude. I don't see a lot of people outside of, right now Yair would be an interesting matchup, but dude, I don't know who else. I have no idea who else would even stand a chance, dude. But we won't spend too much time on it. Co-main event from this past weekend, D Rose, was it Marab versus
Whitaker
Henry, or was it okay? Yeah, Whitaker Costa. Yeah, aside from the Costa spinning head kick, dude, he really didn't. I guess he did all right, but I thought Rob pretty cleanly won the majority of that fight outside of the spinning wheel kick. And anything to add from that, dude?
Yeah, not too much other than I believe what the bonuses from this past weekend, what it went to Elia. I think fight of the night was Dern and Lemos. But how do you not give fight of the night to Whitaker and Casa? I mean, just especially coming off of the Ian Gary and Jeff Neal fight, and then going into that Whitaker and Casa fight, dude, they absolutely stood there and delivered. So for them to not get a fight of the night bonus, yeah, I mean, I know those guys make enough compared to Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Lemos, but man, I mean, that was definitely fight of the night.
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. The other ones were Jeff Neal versus Ian Gary, and Marab versus Henry Cejudo, dude. Where, I mean, I guess those kind of went how we expected them to go. Marab via decision, just cleanly beat Henry Cejudo, dude. Was able to take him down at ease, dude. He just didn't stop. And Ian Gary, just putting on a pretty clean performance over Jeff Neal, dude. I saw a few people say that Jeff Neal won. I thought Ian Gary won 30-27. I didn't think it was a close fight. But I guess thoughts on those two?
I mean, not too much on the Gary and Neal fight, because we kind of touched on that enough, and that fight is it is what it is. But man, I'm really going to be interested to see how Marab looks in a title fight, and typically with his type of fight style, they're a little bit more reluctant to give those types of fighters title shots. They could say he's potentially boring, not going for enough finishes. But I mean, Marab has just all of a sudden out of nowhere just got this groundswell of support. Even in America, they're cheering on Marab over Henry, and Henry is like a proud American. Like, he's one that he wears it on his sleeves. He wrestled for the U.S. in the Olympics, so he is a proud American. And he even had Marab had the crowd swooning out of his hand. So yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how he matches up with either Cheeto or Sean, because man, and he does get hit all the time, but dude, if you don't get him out of there, good luck, because I mean, that dude, he's just an absolute machine, as they call him. And I thought it was interesting to also hear that he basically went a full fight with Aljo in the back before he ended up going up there and fighting Henry. So he basically had a complete fight with Aljo in the back to prepare for the Cejudo fight, and then goes out there and has another fight. The dude's is an absolute wrecking ball, man.
Yeah, absolutely nuts, dude. But it's going to be interesting to see. I would still take O'Malley in that, just because of just the way Marab gets like rocked every single first round, dude. But yeah, anything else from UFC 298 that you want to touch on before we move on, man?
No, man. That's about it.
All right. So with that being said, let's catch up on some comments, and then we will move on to our UFC news and fight announcements for the week. So here we go. Good pronouncement on my last name. I probably butchered it, man. And if I did, I apologize. I can't read. We got Andrew McDonald here. Would love to see Max get that shot. Yes. So same as you, D Rose. You want to see Max versus Ilya, but Max up at 155 now. It's just against Justin of all people. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. The boys finally caught alive. Appreciate you stopping by tonight, Phoenix Priest. I'm glad you're able to catch a live. Volk needs to get rid of his yes men and take some time off to heal. I thought after he made the mistake of fighting Islam out of shape, he would never make that bad choice again, dude. Yeah, and I guess that's what we were kind of talking about going into the fight, dude. It's just like, has there been enough time, dude? Like, I know everyone's like his age. It's like, dude, but how much has he recovered from being head kicked, knocked out, 3 months ago, and clearly I don't think it's been enough time, dude. And if you're like, you're just getting repeatedly knocked out now, like once every couple months, dude, that's not good for your health, man. It's really not.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, Lush saying, man, people hating on Gary has me laughing all the way to the bank. Indeed, dude. Ian Gary's good, and people just hate him just because of what he does in his personal life. Triple C didn't break his arm in the first round, not to mention that what a sad fall from grace. Yeah, dude, Henry Cejudo's arm was swollen massive, like his entire forearm, dude. Looked like it could have been broken. First time I'm hearing about Henry's arm breaking, so I doubt it. Yeah, I don't know. Did you guys watch UFC Q&A last Friday? Check it out. I'm on it. I asked the panel about UFC cards. Nice, Nate. That's what's up. And Lush saying he will do. All right, dude. Yeah, so good on UFC 298, man.
Yep, we're good.
All right, so let me get my screen shared here. Present share screen. There we go. And boom. So I'm not sure if we were here last week, but if not, we got Charles Energy Johnson returning a quick one, dude, against none other than White Kong, Jake Hadley. That's going to be UFC May 11th, dude. Care about that fight at all?
We did talk about this one because I remember talking about Charles Johnson, but the dude just never stops taking fights, man. I mean, he's going to try to go for his own record here.
All right, dude. So we'll move on then. I believe we did talk about that one, dude. Yeah, we talked about that.
Your guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yep, that one, not this one.
Yeah, here we go. This is the first one we didn't talk about. Sean Brady is out, obviously, in Atlantic City, which your boy will be going to. I got my tickets today, so I will be at UFC Atlantic City. Sean Brady is out. Vicente Luque will now face none other than New Monza, Joaquin Buckley at Atlantic City, March 30th. Care about that one, D-Rose?
Dude, that's actually the better fight. It was, if I'm being honest, like just as far as matchmaking. And man, I know Buckley isn't quite the name in order to get the main event, but damn, that I mean, honestly, I think that would be an awesome main event just because I know the fight would actually deliver itself. So that'll be an awesome fight when it happens, or if it happens. Hopefully, it stays together.
Yeah, dude, because I'm spending my hard-earned money to go to that one, so I wouldn't mind if that one stayed together.
So have they announced the main event yet for that card?
Yeah, it's Aaron Blanchfield versus Manon Fear.
Okay, so that is officially the main. Okay.
Indeed, sir, correct. And then we've got your results from this past weekend, dude. Once again, probably just one of the best betting nights that I had in a while, dude. I wasn't 100%, but I was pretty close to being spot on, dude. Won multiple bets this past weekend, so can't be mad at it, dude. Can't be mad at it. That's right before Volt got snoozed. We have a main event for UFC 300, D-Rose. I believe Saturday night after the fights, Dana White popped on Instagram and let us know that the main event for UFC 300 will be none other than Alex Poatan Pereira versus Crickets, not Tom Aspinall, which is what I think everyone was expecting, but it is Sweet Dreams Jamal Hill, the main event for UFC 300, April 13th. What's your thoughts on it, brother?
So the fight itself is awesome. And I see the fan response, and some of them are kind of deflated from it. And here's why. It's because the UFC handled it so poorly as far as how they announced it, because it took forever in announcing it. And I think if it was rolled out, this fight was announced with the whole entire card together, I think everybody would have been like, damn, because if you look up and down that card, the card is absolutely fire, the UFC 300 card. So the matchups are just, absolutely fire from top to bottom. So if this fight was announced with the rest of the card, it would have been like, damn, that was dope. It felt like there was a last second scramble. Dana kept promising that, you guys haven't seen anything yet. Wait until the UFC 300 main event. There's been this big old tease And then it ends up being this fight, which we're excited for, but this was not the superstar potential that you kind of had us believing in, even though he didn't directly say it. You know, everybody was kind of buying in on it could have been a McGregor or John Jones, somebody like that, and it ended up being Pereira versus Hill, which by itself is an awesome fight, but not the superstar quality that I think people were kind of leading to believe.
Yeah, I believe this is the fight that everyone was just expecting to happen next once Jamal Hill got healthy, dude. You know, this was the logical next fight, dude. And like he was teasing us, saying we're not going to be, you know, we haven't seen anything like ever like this. What, a number one contender versus the champion? We've never seen that. Maybe you're correct, because here lately you've been given like the number 6 contender like title shot. so maybe that's what he's talking about. A number one contender will get a title shot, and we haven't seen it before. D-Rose. Classic Dana White. Here we go. We've got banger of a fight. Indeed it is, brother. Well, where will you be sitting at UFC Atlantic City? Well, Nate, I will not be putting that information out there specifically, because there's some weirdos out there, believe it or not. But I believe I'm in section 104, 106, one of the two. Luque by decision. That is what Lush is going. Most likely going to be a good fight, but someone is going to sleep at the UFC 300 main event. If Izzy can KO Poatan, then Hill got this on lock. Maybe, dude. It's at 205, so, you know, Poatan not cutting all that weight, dude. It'll be interesting, dude, and he hits like an absolute truck. Yeah, dude, I'm excited for that fight specifically, though. You know, even though do I think it's UFC 300 main event like worthy after teasing us? Not really, but still a great fight that I'm excited for, dude. So that's the results from this past weekend. This came out today, dude. We got none other than Pat Sabatini taking on Nate the Train in the UFC, baby. Going to be fighting on UFC Atlantic City, March 30th.
Oh, shit.
In person, baby. Hell yeah, dude. I'm excited to see Nate the Train fight in person, dude. Can you imagine the reaction from the crowd he's going to get, dude?
Imagine the reaction from you in the crowd. It's going to be like we're going to be sitting here watching on TV and be like, man, this crowd is going crazy. And then like they're going to like segment off into this small portion of the crowd, and it's just going to be you, like where most of the octane levels are coming from. You're just going to be like, yeah, Nate the Train, baby, in the UFC. Nate the Train in the UFC. Be over there going crazy.
Show you one time I can do that there.
Let me tell you one time I can do that there.
I still got power in these hands. Dude, I love me some Nate the Train. It's absolutely nuts. Here we go. Jamal said Dana offered him to fight Friday before UFC 298. So the plan was so this was the plan fight for sure. Maybe, dude, maybe. The age difference between Hill and Alex, my homeboy Hill got that match 300. Possibly, Nate, possibly. You never know, dude. It's a fist fight. Don't be too confident, dude. But that is the last UFC fight announcement that we have for this week, aside from one that was rumored, dude. I saw it earlier in the week, so I figured we could talk about it. It's rumored that Izzy versus Khamzat is targeted for UFC Saudi Arabia, and also Nasruddin Imavov versus someone else too, dude. Pretty good fight too. Thoughts on those as I try to find who it was for Nasruddin Imavov?
So I did see Dana come out afterwards, and he posted something that basically said, "Hey, this is not true. This is just something that other people are reporting, and this is not true. Stop running with it." But I told you I was kind of suspicious about it initially anyway when I first heard it, and even because we always send each other, you know, fight news and stuff like that, and I actually saw it and never sent it to you, specifically because I wasn't thinking that I just don't have a strong feeling that fight would happen in Saudi Arabia. I could see Izzy conceding that he would maybe need another fight before he could potentially get another title fight. But I don't see him giving Khamzat the home field. I don't see him giving him the opportunity to fight Izzy when he really doesn't deserve it. and to give him the home field advantage as well. I just don't see Izzy doing that. So if there's nothing worked out in America or Australia, New Zealand, something like that, I don't see a fight between Izzy and Hamzat happening, because I know Hamzat has what sounds like to be visa issues and stuff like that right now. So it's hard for him to get in the U.S. and fight.
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. And the other one, dude, Nasruddin Imavov tweeted, "Welcome to 185." And then he tagged Kamaru Usman. Styles make fights. UFC June 22nd, which is also the Saudi Arabia card, dude. So it looks like if Izzy versus Hamzat don't happen, we might have Nasruddin Imavov versus Kamaru Usman at 185. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I mean, I think Nasruddin probably wants that fight because that's probably a big fight for him. But yeah, I don't know. That fight just doesn't intrigue me at all. If I'm being 1,000% honest. I mean, we saw what Imavov did in his last fight, so I'm not really sold on that.
All right, dude. So with that being said, let's get into this upcoming weekend's UFC fights in Mexico City, dude. I am personally excited for these fights, and being in a relationship with a very, very proud of their Mexican heritage girlfriend, dude. She is definitely stoked for this weekend too. She bleeds off like onto me, dude. It's just like she'll be so excited for these fights, and I can't help but to be just excited as her, dude, because she's supporting her people, so it just makes me happy. So I kind of have to support as well, dude. Kamzat has visa issues because he's boys with Ramzan Kadyrov, war criminal leader of Chechnya. Yeah, that's probably why he can't get into the U.S., dude. So let's see here. Let's make sure I get my screen shared. I'll present screen share.
Yeah, it's a pretty loaded card. But is it bad that I keep thinking that it's Brian Ortega and Yair for the main and not Moreno or Royval?
Well, you're not wrong, D Rose, because I'm pretty sure it's also 5 rounds for the co-main event too.
Right. So that's why I'm like, and I think maybe they're doing it that way because they want to have that. Well, and the funny part is, both of these fights, co-main and main event, the last time they fought, the person had a shoulder injury. The loser had a shoulder injury and ended up losing the fight. So I was getting ready to actually say to have that added assurance that Royval and Moreno won't end weird, but their fight already ended weird. So it just keeps confusing me. But other than that, it's a loaded card for a TV card.
Yeah, dude, we have a banger. So this weekend, 7 p.m. East Coast time, dude. So prelims are going to start at 7 p.m. So we got a late card happening this weekend in Mexico City. And we do have 13 fights, once again, taking place in Mexico City. Mexico headlined by the Assassin Baby, Brandon Moreno, taking on Raw Dog, Brandon Royval. And this is the second time that they're fighting. And in the co-main event, we have El Pantera, Yair Rodriguez, taking on T-City, Brian Ortega. That is also the second time they are fighting. 5 rounds for your co-main event once again. So main and co-main, we will be having 5 rounds. No title on the line, though. The feature fight of the night is going to be Daniel Zellhuber taking on Francisco Prado. We've got Raul Rosas, El Nino Problema, Rosas Jr. taking on Ricky Tercios. That's going to be an interesting one, dude. We've got Yasmin Haregi taking on Sam Page, Sam Hughes. We've got Manuel Torres taking on Chris Duncan. We've got Christian Quinones taking on Joanny Barcelos, my favorite fighter to pick against in the UFC, Deros. We've got Jesus Aguilar. He's the one that snoozed Shannon Rawson in his last fight with 1 punch. He's going to be taking on Mateus Mendonca.
Turn him into a chicken tender.
Yep, Mateus Mendonce or Mateus Mendonca, however you say it. D-Rose, how many times have we broken this fight down? We've got Edgar Chairez taking on Daniel Da Silva Lacerda again.
Too many damn times.
Dude, I forgot the number.
Dude, that's the third rematch. That's the third rematch on the card. That is absolutely nuts.
We also do have Claudio Poyes. We haven't seen him since he fought Dan Hooker. He is going to be taking on Faras Ziam. We've got Luis Rodriguez taking on Dennis Bondar. We've got Victor El Magnifico Altamirano taking on Felipe Daytona dos Santos. And then our first fight of the night, our curtain jerker, opening up the card, probably going to be at 7 p.m. Right after it, it's going to be Muhammad Naimov taking on Eric Silva, dude. So 13 fights for a TV card, D-Rose. What's your grade on it as a whole, brother?
Yeah, I mean, for a TV card, especially, man, I definitely got to give it in the realm of a B. So yeah, I'll give it a B. I think it's absolutely solid. I mean, I guess you can maybe even say for a TV card like a B plus. I would say within the B plus range, because I ain't paying for it, and there's a lot of fights that have a lot of fighters that we know of, and a lot of these fights have high stakes on them as well. So yeah, it's an awesome card, especially like I said, for it to be not free, but not a pay-per-view.
Yeah, and we're finally out of the Apex, which is good, dude. Which means they can't be bullshitting us on one of these cards.
Which is what I've been begging for. So I can't ask for it, then get it, then be mad about it. So good fights this weekend, hopefully.
Yeah, all right. And then before we get started, we got Leslie Main saying Mexican parlay looking doable, possibly, dude. They could clean sweep. But you never know, dude. It's a fist fight at the end of the day. We got Lesh got his notes ready to go. And Austin saying, praying that Ortega's shoulders stays in the socket this fight, dude. Once you got a shoulder issue, it seems to be reoccurring. Have you heard what Yair has said about Ilya? He wants to F him up anywhere. Yeah. It'll be an interesting fight, dude. But he's got to win this weekend first. So first fight of the night, Muhammad the Hillman Naimov taking on King Eric Silva. For Muhammad Naimov, he is 10-2, won all 5 of his last 5, while Eric Silva is 9-2 overall, won 4 of his last 5, but lost his UFC debut to none other than downtown TJ Brown. Muhammad Naimov is 29 years old, 5'9" and 170 pounds, while Eric Silva is 36 years old, D-Rose. So odd even seeing that. 5'9" and a 71-inch reach. And as I said, in his UFC debut, in his last fight against downtown TJ Brown, he did get finished via submission. I think it was the late second round. The Rose kind of just looked ass, man. Currently odds for this, Muhammad Naimov minus 460, Eric Silva plus 320. Yeah, that's the reason I want to see odds, because Tapology has it minus 280 plus 225. But currently, yeah, minus 460 for Muhammad Naimov. Eric Silva is not really that good, dude. I don't know how he got to the UFC, to be honest. And Muhammad Naimov in his first 2 fights against Jamie Malarkey, and then what was his name?
Nathaniel Wood.
Yeah, Nathaniel Wood. And Nathaniel Wood was a close fight, but it's Nathaniel Wood, dude, and he's a really good fighter. And the Jamie Malarkey fight, he was kind of losing that, but he snoozed Jamie Malarkey too. So he's got power, carries it late, seems to have all right cardio. And yeah, dude, this is down at 145 now. So his actual like weight class, and he beats Nathaniel Wood. I think he can clean the floor with Eric Silva, dude. But as I said, Eric Silva not that good. You get finished by TJ Brown, probably shouldn't be in the UFC. Give me Muhammad Naimov to win this fight via second round knockout, dude. Which way are you going this week here, brother?
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you all the way there, especially on the TJ Brown loss. I'm pretty sure that I picked Eric Silva in that fight as well, just because I was like, I've never been a big believer in TJ Brown, so I'm not gonna have this bite me in the butt again. And as you said, Muhammad Naimov, he did put up a good fight against Nathaniel Wood. You could maybe, I know it went to unanimous decision. You can maybe make the argument that Nathaniel Wood won that fight, but that was a very good fight between the two. As you said, power in his hands. I like Muhammad Naimov here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Me and D-Rose both on Hillman, Muhammad Naimov. So up next, we do have Victor El Magnifico Altamirano.
Okay.
That's his favorite, dude. He's like on the scale, he's like, dude, that's my favorite. So anyway, we got Victor Altamirano taking well, let me get it pulled up here. Taking on Lipe Daytona, Felipe Dos Santos. This is going to be an interesting fight down at 125 pounds, D-Rose. Anyway, El Magnifico, 12-3 overall, won 3 of his last 5, while Felipe Dos Santos, Felipe Dos Santos, Lipe Daytona, 7-1 overall, made his UFC short notice debut. Last fight against Manel Kape was he was going to fight I think Haikar France, but Felipe Dos Santos steps in short notice, flies to Australia and fights Manel Kape, loses via decision. Looked pretty good doing so, D-Rose. Currently, odds for this are a -330 for Felipe Dos Santos and a +240 for Victor El Magnifico Altamirano. Victor Altamirano, 33 years old, 5'8" and a 70-inch reach, while Felipe Daytona is 23 years old, 5'7" and a 70-inch reach. D-Rose, this is probably the first time we're going to be mentioning it on the card tonight, though. But this fight is taking place at Mexico City, right? And for those of you that don't know too much about altitude or what goes into it, dude, a lot of fighters looked bad at Salt Lake City altitude, right? Right, D-Rose, you're like, damn, that's altitude. Yep. They start looking like ass. Just for reference, Salt Lake City is around 4,300 feet above sea level. So 4,000 feet above sea level, D-Rose. Mexico City is almost double that. It's like 7,300, something like that. So almost double that. So if you thought some people had bad cardio in Salt Lake City, dude, Mexico City is about to be a fucking shit show. So a lot of these fights that we may be thinking, can it go over? Please keep in mind that if a fighter has bad cardio, there's a chance that this week they could just look awful. And this is maybe one of the fights, dude, because I guess the dudes from Shoot the Box aren't really known for having the best cardio in the world. And I was listening to someone, and I heard that they got to Mexico City Saturday night, dude. So they're going to be there for 1 week in Mexico City before their fight, as where, people are coming out 3-4 weeks, 2 months in advance to acclimate to the altitude, dude. So the entire Shoot the Box team. So that's Felipe Dos Santos. That's our favorite, Daniel Lacerda. That's Mateus Mendonce, dude. That's all of them. I don't think they're going to be acclimated, dude. And I'm going to pick Felipe Dos Santos to win Felipe Daytona, but as a -330, I don't feel comfortable with him this weekend, to be honest. I know he looked great short notice against Manel Kape, so he could get Victor Altamirano out of there early, and it'd just be a easy night, dude. But if this goes over a round and a half, late second round, third round, dude, and we see Lipe starting to, breathe heavy, I might have to throw in a live bet on Victor Altamirano, because I feel like he's probably going to be at least prepared for the altitude, being that he is at least from this region. So that being said, I'm going Victor Altamirano. I'm going Lipe Daytona to win this fight. Let's say via sketchy split decision, dude. Sketchy split decision. Give me Lipe Daytona. I don't feel good about it, though, dude. I don't feel good about a -330 favorite, as crazy as it sounds, dude. He should win, but which way are you going this week, man?
I felt like you went all around. You made the argument for Altamirano, and then you went ahead and chose Felipe Dos Santos. So you really pulled the old switcheroo on me there at the last second, man. Because Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually with you.
It's just
a
like
little
it's just a
bit in
hard
terms
one to
of
call.
well, and the only reason why I'm a little bit with you is it like the betting line just had me just looking through Felipe dos Santos' record. And dude, if you look at some of the guys that he fought before he came into the UFC, and I'm talking about like if he was 5-0, 6-0,
Yeah.
fighting dudes that were like 0-2, 1-1, 1-0. I mean, I love their absolute fight style. Man, but he's 23 years old. And I think taking the fight against Manel Kape on short notice, he did a favor for the UFC, went in there, put up a valiant effort, and but I think for me, Alto Moreno, I think I can understand why you hesitate to pick him, but I think I'm actually pull the trigger on him this time, man. Let's go Victor Altamirano. I think if he goes for a little bit of the wrestling there and able to negate Felipe dos Santos's brutal leg kicks and stand up, I think Victor Altamirano can get the job done here, man. Let's go Victor Altamirano by unanimous decision.
All right, our first different pick of the day, D Rose on the plus 240 dog, Victor El Magnifico Altamirano, and I'm on Lipe Daytona, Felipe dos Santos. All right, dude. So time for our third different fight, or our third fight of the night, which is going to be Luis Rodriguez, Lazy Boy, taking on Psycho Dennis Bondar, dude. So Luis Rodriguez is 15-2 overall, won all 5 of his last 5, while Dennis Bondar is 19-4 overall, won 3 of his last 5, but lost his last 2 via Carlos Hernandez via technical decision. And if you guys don't remember what that was when Carlos Hernandez slammed dude on the ground. There's a clash of heads, and he was knocked out, and then gave him like 17 elbows after the fight. The ref stopped it, and then they like took forever to decide, but they end up going to decision. Anyway, I think I had Carlos Hernandez via knockout, so I was excited, and then it didn't even hit because they end up calling it technical decision because the headbutt knockout should have been a knockout. But then he did break his arm taking on Malcolm Gordon, dude. So before he came to the UFC, this guy was, I think, 19-2, D-Rose. So he had a pretty good record. Got to the UFC, now 19-4, and don't look that great. On the other hand, we do have Luis Rodriguez that, looks pretty good, 15-2 overall, won all 5 of his last 5. And, Mexico, I think UFC probably setting up this guy. But Luis Rodriguez is 24 years old, 5'6" and a 65-inch reach, while Dennis Bondar is 31 years old, 5'6" and a 69-inch reach. Currently, odds for this are minus 113 apiece, so dead even here, D-Rose. I don't think Dennis Bondar is that good, so I'm going to go with the UFC newcomer, Mexican prospect, Luis Rodriguez, Lazy Boy here with absolutely no confidence at all. Give me Luis Rodriguez. Which way are you going here this week, D-Rose?
Yeah, this is another one that I'm also up in the air with as well. And for me, I think Dennis Bondar's back's against the ropes, man, in terms of, keeping his job in the UFC. And I think he's got, pretty good wrestling. And from everything that I've seen with Rodriguez, he's good at applying the pressure, but maybe not so well off the back foot per se. So I'm going to go Dennis Bondar. I think if he's able to get his wrestling intact, I mean, I thought he looked decent in the fight against Carlos Hernandez, and Hernandez just put on just a better effort, but and I just thought he was able to negate the wrestling of Bondar, but I think if Bondar is able to utilize it here, I think he can get the job done. So let's go Dennis Bondar.
All right, our second different pick of the night, D Rose on Dennis Bondar, but I'm on Luis Rodriguez, but it's minus 113 a piece, split down the middle. There's a chance we could both be wrong here. It could go to a draw. Who knows, dude? Anyway, so next fight of the night, we do have Claudio Puelles taking on Fares Ziam, dude. So Prince of Peru, Claudio Puelles, is 12-3 overall, 1-4 of his last 5. Lost his last fight to Dan, the Hangman Hooker. On the other hand, we've got Faraz Ziam, the Smile Killer, is 14-4 overall, 1-4 of his last 5. Only loss was to T-Rex there a year or almost 2 years ago via rear naked choke. Currently, odds for this are plus 176 for Claudio Puelles and a minus 230 for the Smile Killer, Faraz Ziam. So, Faraz Ziam, a pretty big favorite, a little bit over 2-1. Claudio Puelles, 27 years old, 5'10" and a 72-inch reach, while the Smile Killer, Faraz Ziam, is 26 years old, 6'1" and a 75-inch reach. D-Rose, I guess, dude, so Claudio Puelles, before his last fight, Dan Hooker, dude, I probably even picked Claudio Puelles to beat Dan Hooker because, dude, Dan Hooker was on just that losing streak, right? And I was probably going to get knee barred. But then Dan Hooker came out there and just showed that maybe you can't knee bar Dan Hooker, that his legs are too long and it just doesn't work, dude. Or he's just too tough and he's like, nah, I ain't tapping to that, mate. I'm a psychopath. You know?
It's just a scratch, mate.
Yeah.
It's just a scratch.
Did you see Dan Hooker laugh when fucking Volk got snoozed in like in Izzy's video, dude? Like you see him like he was just in the background, like he was like smiling as everyone else was like, no, he's just like like what is
he loves the sport, man. Dude. He loves the sport.
Psychopath. Like that's your teammate, dude. What the fuck? But yeah, anyway, going back to this fight. Yeah, man, I don't know. Something tells me Claudio Puelles ends up getting back to his ways this week. You know, Faraz Ziam's an all right fighter, but he ain't Dan Hooker good. And, you know, I think before or after the T-Rex fight, he got cut and then he got signed back for the France card. I forgot which one it was. Yeah, I think
the one with Gon and Tuivasa.
Yeah, I think it was then. So he ended up getting signed back then, dude. I just don't really think he's the best fighter. He's not urgent, dude. That's his thing. He has no finishing instinct. He's strictly a point fighter, dude. So he ain't going to try to knock you out. He ain't even going to try to finish you, dude. He's going to do what it takes to win, dude. And I think at some point this fight probably ends up on the ground. I don't know when and I don't know how. But give me Claudio Puelles to submit Faraz Ziam, the Smile Killer, this weekend. As the dog, give me Claudio Puelles to submit Faraz Ziam. Which way are you going here this week, brother?
Yeah, this could potentially, depending on the result. But if it's the way that I'm thinking, you could probably get up and get you a drink. Maybe, you know, if you gotta run out and maybe grab some pickup or something like that. Maybe go ahead and do that because this could be the fight for that potentially. This could be a snoozer, but I think I'm going Faraz Ziam here, and I think Puelles is. I think he's just so content with the butt scooting, and I know the Dan Hooker fight kind of put him in a bad spotlight, but it's just the fact that he's willing to, by any means, go to the ground, like, you know, in terms of pulling guard and stuff like that, put himself in just bad positions to where he can try to put himself in an advantageous position on the ground. But I think for Faraz Ziam, he's a big dude. What is he, 6'1"? So I know he's a little bit bigger than Puelles as well. I think, you know, there could be a strength advantage, and if anything, Faraz Ziam, this is where he actually wants to get the fight. If he can get you on your back, as you said, no finishing instinct. He's going to look for a decision in there, man, and I think that's exactly what he gets here. So I'm going Faraz Ziam.
All right, dude. I can see it, and I see why you're going that way. I just think at some point, dude, it goes to the ground, and when we see another Claudio Puelles knee bar this weekend, and he returns, and I don't have to eat the beans. So our third different pick this week is going to be, my voice cracked there a little bit, is going to be Faraz Ziam taking on Claudio Puelles. So let's get our next one pulled up here, and we're going to talk about this one. again, D-Rose, because, why not, dude? Because who doesn't love talking about this fight, dude? So for the 7th time now, we've got Edgar Chairez, I don't know how to say that, taking on Muijo Daniel da Silva Lacerda, whichever one it is, dude. Have we ever seen a UFC fighter with this record aside from Tony Ferguson, dude? Like, look at the L's there.
And how many different names has he went through since he's been in the UFC? I mean, dude, it's crazy. He's almost gone through as many name changes as losses. It's crazy,
dude. And name changes does not change your record. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so currently, here we go. We've got Edgar Chairez 10-5 overall, won 2 of his last 5 with 2 losses and a no contest in there. We got Daniel Lacerda da Silva has lost 4 of his last 5 with a no contest in there as well. Currently, odds for this are a plus 280 for Daniel Lacerda and a minus 390 for Edgar Chairez. Edgar is 28 years old, 5'7" and a 72-inch reach, while Daniel da Silva is 27 years old, 5'6" and a 70-inch reach. D-Rose, earlier when I was talking about the whole gasser situation, this was one that I'm specifically eyeing, dude, because Daniel da Silva fought, I think, Victor Altamirano at Salt Lake City, dude. And I think that's Victor Altamirano's only finish, dude. And he knocked out Daniel da Silva in the 2nd round, dude. And this is even higher elevation, dude. So if Edgar Chairez has any form of fight IQ, dude, just stay safe the 1st round and get this guy out of there in the 2nd round. Give me Edgar Chairez to win this fight via 2nd round submission. But my biggest play for this fight will be this fight going under a round and a half this week. I'm going to be betting it. Probably going to be in all my parlays under a round and a half for this fight. Probably going to be minus 350. But, solid parlay piece. What's your thoughts here, D-Rose?
Daniel Lacerda, his fights always go the same, explosive 1st round and usually gets finished in the 2nd or 3rd. But in their last fight, I will give him credit to say that he did go out there and was a little bit more reserved. He was a little bit more calm. I think you were even there for that fight to witness him use his wrestling, use a little bit of his top control, ground and pound. So he seemed to put a little bit more of the pieces together. But, of course, the fight ultimately ended up in Edgar Chairez's realm where he wants the fight to be. And, that's for him to be able to utilize his grappling. I just think Daniel Lacerda just finds a way to put himself in bad positions all the time. And I think this fight doesn't exclude that. I think Edgar Chairez should get the submission here. I'm with you. I would like to even maybe see if Daniel Lacerda does try to maybe come out a little bit more reserved like he did in the first fight. Maybe a submission combo for Edgar Chairez round 2 or 3. I'd like to maybe see some odds on that when the line drops, because that could potentially have a little juicy line there that I might potentially put some action on.
Yeah, I have to agree because that 2-3 is usually a little bit more juicier than the 1-2 is. Like, does it happen in 1-2? Probably, but it all around it probably happens in the 2nd. And, that tie up that 2-3 probably get you a little bit better odds on that. But me and D-Rose are both on Edgar Chairez via 2nd round submission over Daniel Lacerda da Silva, whatever he wants to go by this week. So up next, we do have Jesus Aguilar taking on Mateus Mendonça. I believe that's how you say it. Jesus Aguilar, 9-2 overall, won 4 of his last 5 with the knockout over Shannon Ross, dude. And we got Mateus Mendonça, is 10-2 overall with he was undefeated 10-0 joining the UFC, and then his first 2 fights were Javid Basharat, and then dropped down to 125 pounds and got snoozed by Nate Maness going for heel hooks, dude. So what the fuck? I just don't even really know what to really say too much, dude. But currently, odds for this are a plus 118 for Jesus Aguilar and a minus 150 for Mateus Mendonça. Jesus Aguilar, 27 years old, 5'4", and a 62-inch reach, basically Corey McKenna size arms. And then Mateus Mendonça is 25 years old, 5'6", and a 71-inch reach. D-Rose, this dude might have to lean to get like something out of his front pocket, dude. That's how short his arms are. It's like he can't even get something out of his pocket. He's got to like lean down on it. Yeah, dude, 62-inch reach is really, really short for any guy, dude. Just odd. But that being said, dude, I don't know, man. I guess I'm going to go Mateus Mendonça to win this fight via first round knockout over Jesus Aguilar, dude. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, I'm not super confident in this either. I'm just going to go Jesus Aguilar. Just because Mendonça doesn't seem to have the best fight IQ, as you said, going for those heel hooks against Nate Maness and getting ground and pounded. Just absolutely stubborn. So I want to go Jesus Aguilar here.
All right, me and D-Rose split on this one. I think that's pick number 4, pick number 5 different. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
1 or 2, but I know Luscious.
We'll definitely have plenty. Yeah, we'll definitely have plenty this weekend.
And D-Rose gets the pick on this weekend. So up next, we do have none other than D-Rose's Fight of the Night here. We've got Christian Quinones taking on Raoni Barcelos Problema. Christian Quinones is 18-4 overall and lost his last fight against Kung Ho Kang, I believe. Yeah, indeed it was. While Raoni Barcelos was, I guess everyone thought it was really good until 4 fights ago when he lost to Timur Valiev. Yeah, and after that, just kind of laid an egg since 2 years and 7 months ago, dude. Only win was over Trevin Jones. Lost everything else. Lost 4 out of his last 5. 17-5 overall, Raoni Barcelos. Currently, odds for this are plus 142 for Christian Quinones and a minus 184 for Raoni Barcelos. Christian Quinones is 27 years old, 5'8", and a 70-inch reach, while Raoni Barcelos is 36 years old, 5'8", and a 72-inch reach. D-Rose, you know me. You know I don't think I've picked Raoni Barcelos to win any fight on this show, probably ever, because I think he's fighting people that are, I guess, above how good I think Raoni Barcelos is. The only fight that I picked wrong on was probably that Trevin Jones fight. And if you just look at what's the outlier of the 5 fights that he fought last, let's say Trevin Jones probably the worst fighter out of those 5. And I think Christian Quinones is probably on the same level that Trevin Jones is probably on. So probably for the first time ever on the podcast, D-Rose, I'm going Raoni Barcelos this week. However, I'm going to put it out there. The Christian Quinones has knockout power, dude. You saw him. I don't think Khalid Taha had ever been knocked out. And then Christian Quinones came out there and snoozed them early round 1, like 20 seconds. And still, ever since then, hasn't been finished. And then against Kung Ho Kang, he came out there, hurt Kung Ho Kang, and then just kind of rushed him with his chin up, got dropped himself, and then submitted there. So kind of, he's powerful, really eager to get in there and bang. So he could get Raoni out of there early, just like Umar did. But I think Umar I think Raoni Barcelos stays safe, stays composed, and outclasses the kid this week. Give me Raoni Barcelos to win the fight via decision, dude. Which way you going here this week?
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. I'll take Raoni Barcelos here. I think it's this is a pink paper fight for him. This is a fight where he could potentially be losing his job if he loses this fight. And I think Raoni Barcelos is the more complete fighter, I would say. And I think if he's able to weather the early storm against Christian Quinones, I think he can use jabs, leg kicks, takedowns. He's very well rounded for the most part, so I think he can use all his tools and probably get a decision win here.
All right, so me and D-Rose both on Raoni Barcelos this week. So, yeah, okay. So here
but I'm not going to lie, I am very surprised that you decided to pick Raoni Barcelos. That really, I'm not going to lie, that blew me away.
Yeah, dude. But at the same time, it's like, Yeah, there's levels. There's levels, but would it surprise me if Christian Quinones came out here and snoozed Hani Barcelos round 1? Absolutely not, dude. I'm like, well, that's what I get. That's what I get for picking Hani Barcelos this weekend. That's exactly what I get. I should just keep fading him because he's not a good fighter. So up next, we do have Manuel El Loco Torres taking on the problem, Chris Duncan, dude. Manuel Torres 14-2 overall. Chris Duncan 11-1 overall. Manuel Torres 28 years old, 5'10", and a 73-inch reach, while Chris Duncan is 30 years old, 5'10", and a 71.5-inch reach. Currently, odds for this are plus 134 for Chris Duncan and a minus 172 for Manuel Torres, dude. Dude, I'm going to keep this one simple. Chris Duncan gets hit a lot, hurt in basically all his fights. And Manuel Torres is fast, accurate, powerful, dude. And I think he probably knocks Chris Duncan out this weekend. Give me Manuel Torres to knock out Chris Duncan in the first round here in Mexico City. Which way are you going here this week, brother?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. This is one that I have been going back and forth on because I think both guys, they definitely have finishing ability. I think the biggest thing for me, Manuel Torres, I think I even picked him against Nicholas Mota when he came in, and then had that big knockout. I felt like it was like a pig champ pick or something like that. I ended up picking him.
Like he got hit by Mota too, and he's got a chin. He acts like it didn't hurt him.
Yeah. No, he definitely stood in there, took some damage, and like I said, he came through with the big win. But man, if you look at all of his fights, man, it does not look like he has ever heard of what's called a decision in fighting. And I think Chris Duncan is a dude that, if you go back to that Charlie Campbell fight in the Contender Series, dude, he just showed absolutely just not even an iron chin, but just an iron mentality. Just that dude is not going to fold at all. And I think that as long as he's able to weather the storm early, I think Chris Duncan can actually utilize a lot of his wrestling, because ever since he's been in the UFC coming off the Contender Series, he's been going to a lot of decisions and using a lot of his wrestling along them lines as well. So I think for the danger that Manuel Torres carries, I think if he doesn't get the job done early, I think Chris Duncan gets the job done late. So I want to take Chris Duncan here.
All right. So you don't disagree with me, but at the same time, you're going the opposite way. You're like, because I'm going Manuel Torres, round 1, probably round 2 KO, one of those two. And you said Manuel Torres don't get it done early, he's probably going to lose the fight. And that's, I kind of feel the same way. I'm just going on Manuel Torres to get it done early. We got Bookie Bully in the room. Sup, boys? Just found the channel. I like Zellhuber, Torres, and Moreno. I like them, dude. I like them. I don't Zellhuber versus Prado, dude. Prado's got some power. We'll get into it. It's I think it's up next, or maybe co-main event. For the cards, I want to cop Swamp Eve. Is it bad if they aren't graded? It's not bad. Just know that you're probably going to get what you pay for if it's not graded. So if it's UFC cards aren't really expensive to begin with, but yeah, dude, I would just, you can find some really nice graded cards really cheap, dude. I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it at that. So let's make sure, where are we at?
We're at Yasmin Naregi and
yeah. All right. So that's where we're at. Damn, dude, that's a huge line there. So I'm on Manuel Torres, El Loco, D Rose on the problem, Christian Duncan this week. So up next, we do have Yasmin Haregi taking on none other than Sam Page, Sam Hughes, dude. Yeah, going to be an interesting fight, dude. We haven't seen Haregi since she got snoozed by Denise Gomes in one of my favorite calls all of last year. Not going to let people live that one down, dude.
Not at all.
Anyway. Yasmin Haregi 10-1 overall, while Sam Hughes is 8-5 overall. Haregi won 4 of her last 5. Sam won 3 of her last 5. Currently, odds for this are a -530 for Yasmin Haregi and a +360 for Sam Page. Sam Hughes Haregi is 24 years old, 5'3" and 64-inch reach, while Sampage is 31 years old, 5'5" and a 64.5-inch reach. So Sampage is going to have 2-inch reach and 2-inch height advantage and a 1/2-inch reach advantage. Yeah, D Rose, I'm going to kind of keep this one short and simple too. Yeah, Sampage, unless she can get you down and just kind of bully you, lay on you, I don't think she wins, dude. And Haregi, UFC kind of wants to get behind her, dude. Young Mexican prospect. Looks fantastic. Only has 1 loss now where, we really don't know what would have happened in the fight if she didn't just get clipped, man. So, she just got clipped by a girl that has power. And, that can happen to anyone. It is a fist fight. So this week, I suspect Haregi to get back on the track and stuff the takedowns of Sampage, Sam Hughes. Gets the 30-27 unanimous decision on all 3 judges' scorecards. Yasmin Haregi, unanimous decision. Which way are you going here this week, brother?
Yeah, I could not have said it better myself. I'll keep it short and sweet here. Let's go Yasmin Haregi. All for the same reason you just said. Couldn't have broken it any better.
Hell yeah. So me and D-Rose both on, minus 530 favorite women's fight. So we're either going to look like idiots or, people that love to eat chalk because, minus 530 favorite. Of course she should win, right, D-Rose? Of course.
Yep, and that's exactly why I'm not betting on it because, that is way too scary of a line to play.
Yeah, let's see here. Well, here we go. Here we go. We've got Prado is a dog. Zell Hoover got rocked by Jago, so I'm kind of nervous about him, honestly. Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel. And then we've got Derek Goofer with the 199 super sticker. Appreciate you dropping the $2 in here, Derek. It truly helps a ton, brother. Keeping the lights on here on the Golden Octagon, brother. So shout out Derek Goofer for the super sticker. So up next, this is a co-main event. We do have El Problema. What am I doing?
It's not quite the feature, though.
Is my connection bad, D-Rose? Because it says I have a bad connection right now.
No. Everything's flowing smooth.
I don't know. That's odd. Anyway, let me get back to it. So, Raul Rosas, El Nino Problema Rosas Jr. taking on Pretty Ricky Tercios, dude. So, Raul Rosas Jr. 8-1 overall. Only loss was to Christian Rodriguez. And Ricky Tercios is 12-3 overall, coming off the Ultimate Fighter. Won 3 of his last 5, but had 3 fights in the UFC. Won 2, but I think this fight, dude, against Ayman Zahabi.
He's doing the Gracie foot stomps.
Dude, he was just did he even throw any strikes in the fight? He was just like, yeah, at him the whole fight, dude. It's like, dude, he didn't even punch him. You were just going, yeah, at him the whole time and like trying to stomp his feet, dude. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Just an absolute nut job is Ricky Tercios. I'll leave it at that. Currently, odds for this are minus 230 for Raul Rosas Jr. and a plus 176 for Ricky Tercios. Raul Rosas Jr., 19 years old currently, 5'9" and a 67-inch reach, while Ricky Tercios is 30, 5'9" and a 71-inch reach. D-Rose, I would think Ricky Tercios had a chance here this week if he could stuff a takedown, but dude, he's one of those people that I feel like, if the wind blew too hard, he might fall over, man. So give me Raul Rosas Jr. to submit Ricky Tercios in the second round. Which way are you going here this week, brother?
Yeah, and again, Tercios, him doing the Gracie foot stomps, there's just nothing that and the Gracie foot stomp is like they walk forward and they take their front foot and almost like they stomp forward with it, and they're almost trying to do like a Kamaru Usman type of toe stomp in the middle of the cage. Like it looks very funky and awkward. Yeah, I'm not trusting that dude at all. So let's go Raul Rosas here, And
he's trying to squash giant bugs in the middle of the octagon.
Dude, I mean, it absolutely looked like he saw a big ass spider and was like, "Yo, spider!" and it was like trying to step on it to kill it or something like that. I have no idea what the hell he was doing besides trying to kill a spider. Like it made absolutely no sense to me. And I haven't trusted him ever since, even though he won the last fight. I just haven't trusted him. And I'm not going to get that image out of my head. So, yeah, I'll go Raul Rosas.
The Ricky Tercios spider stomps.
Oh, shit, spider.
Yeah, so me and D-Rose both on Raul Rosas Jr. this week, probably via submission for me. Which way for you? You say decision, or you think?
Yeah, I think I'd say a little bit more Raul Rosas wrestling in this match. I don't think he uses much striking. He uses a little bit more wrestling, and Tercios is a little bit. I know he's a little bit tougher to submit, so I'll go by decision.
All right, D-Rose on Raul Rosas Jr. via decision. So up next, featured fight of the night. We have none other than the Golden Boy, Daniel Zellhuber, taking on Francisco Prado. Daniel Zellhuber, 14-1 overall. Only loss was his UFC debut to Trey Ogden, while Francisco Prado is 12-1 overall. Only loss was to, I think, his UFC debut against Jamie Mullarkey. Indeed, it was. Yeah. So both lost their UFC debut to not a good fighter, dude. Not a good fighter. So what can we take away from that? Maybe just UFC jitters. But currently odds are minus 290 for Daniel Zellhuber and a plus 215 for Francisco Prado. Daniel Zellhuber, 24 years old, 6'1", and a 77-inch reach, while Francisco Prado, 21 years old, 5'11", and a 69-inch reach. So Daniel Zellhuber going to be 2 inches taller than Francisco Prado, but have a 8-inch reach advantage. D-Rose, I'm gonna let you break this one down, brother, and I'm gonna let you make your pick first.
Yeah, I'm definitely not as confident with leaning towards this one, but I think for me, Zellhuber, he's obviously got the length. He's got the. I think he'll have a little bit of the kickboxing advantage. He's got some good kicks. And knows how to utilize his reach. I think Prado, he's a little bit more doggy. He's definitely going in there to he's not going in there to mess around. He's going in there to get a finish. He is even split in terms of his finish rate in terms of wins. It's 6 knockouts, 6 submissions. So and in total it's 12 wins. So he's not going in there to mess around. But I think Ottoman Azaitar, he's shown in his last few fights, he has been a little bit more hittable, and you can get him out of there because he's willing to get into a little bit of a scrap himself. And I think for Zellhuber, I think he's a little bit more of one who's want to use a little bit more IQ. I know he got hit by Giagos in that fight, but other than that, I thought he did look very well in that fight. And yes, the Trey Ogden fight was a little weird, but I know he got out wrestled a little bit in that fight. I know he's been working on his takedown defense and stuff like that ever since. So I think Zellhuber is able to utilize his reach here, and I think he kind of picks apart Prado from distance. Let's go Zellhuber by decision.
All right, man. I see that, dude, and shout out Daniel Zellhuber. One of the fighters I got a picture with at Noche UFC after his win. So, I am a Daniel Zellhuber fan, D-Rose, but I think I'm going the opposite way this week, dude. I'm going against a fighter that I have a photo with. I think Francisco Prado got power, dude. I like the spinning shit that he throws. He's fun to watch. And, as you said, that Christos Giagos fight, dude, I don't think Christos, really has power, dude. He's not finishing anyone. And, dude, Francisco Prado, 21-year-old thumper from Argentina, as I like to call him, dude, he's going to be a problem, dude. I think, this Argentine with the blue eyes comes in here and he snoozes Daniel Zellhuber in the first round. So give me the dog, Francisco Prado, to knock out Daniel Zellhuber in the first round this weekend in Mexico City for I don't know,
Wow.
different fight number a lot this weekend.
We do got a lot of different ones. For us not thinking we weren't going to have many different picks, we sure got a lot of different picks.
Dearest, that was the dog that I was like, that's the one dog I have earlier in the week. That's the one that I was on early in the week, and I'm still on. I think maybe after face-offs, a lot of people might change this line because I think they might be thinking Hazel Huber is going to have this huge height advantage, and I don't think he's going to have much of a height advantage, dude. 2 inches isn't a whole lot. So, maybe if the stats are a little off and he's way shorter, I might kind of lean the other way. But yeah, dude, for now, give me Francisco Prado to win that fight, dude. So next up, co-main event of the night, Yair Rodriguez versus T-City, Brian Ortega, numero 2.
The second
Pantera,
2 of the night.
All right, dude. El Pantera, Yair Rodriguez is 18-4 overall, won 3 of his last 5. While T-City, Brian Ortega, 15-3 overall, won 2 of his last 5. Haven't seen him in almost 2 years though, since he last fought Yair Rodriguez and injured his shoulder. Currently, odds for this are a -172 for Yair Rodriguez and a +134 for T-City, Brian Ortega. Yair Rodriguez, 31 years old, 5'11" and a 71-inch reach, while T-City is 33 years old, 5'8" and a 69-inch reach. D-Rose, I'm going to keep this short, man. Give me Yair Rodriguez to win this fight via decision. This is going to be 5 rounds, Mexico City. I think Yair going to come in shape. Brian Ortega is just tough as all hell. I suspect he's probably just going to get beat up for 5 rounds, dude. We haven't seen him in 3 years, dude. I say we haven't seen him in 3 years, but I don't think he's won in 3 years. Yeah, the last time we saw him win was against Zombie. And, dude, I went back and watched a Zombie fight a few days ago, dude. I know everyone, me, myself included, rave about how good Brian Ortega looked in that fight, dude, but
that was a scrap.
That was pretty close fight. Pretty close fight,
He pulled away when he landed that elbow.
Yeah.
Zombie even admitted that, like, after he landed that elbow, he was in airplane mode. But Zombie was definitely giving him a fight for sure.
Yeah, and dude, that wasn't a long time ago, dude. So it just makes me think, dude, maybe, I love the enigma of Brian Ortega, that pretty much being down 12 minutes and somehow pulling a rabbit out of a hat, coming with a round 3 sub with, 2 minutes left. I love Brian Ortega like that, dude. But Brian Ortega hasn't got a submission since like before the Frankie Edgar knockout, or some shit like that, dude. Yeah, so it's been a while, dude. And I think maybe the division has passed up my guy T-City this week, dude. So give me Yair Rodriguez to win this fight via decision, dude. Could he finish him late? Probably, but Brian Ortega's tough. It wouldn't surprise me if he's able to last all 5. So Yair Rodriguez via decision. Which way are you going, Deros?
Yeah, and I definitely see where you're coming from there as far as, Ortega having, all the time off and the division passing him by. But when I think of the division passing him by, I'm thinking about Movzar. I'm thinking about Topuria. I'm thinking about guys like that. I'm not necessarily thinking about Yair because really, if you think about it, Yair is kind of considered this group of, young talent, but Yair's kind of been around for a long time, man. I mean, he's been in the UFC since, I believe, 2014, 2015 himself. So he's been around for a while. But another guy, if you go up and down his Tapology page, a lot of inactivity. You see a lot of you've seen a lot of activity. I don't want to say a lot, but more relative to what his career is used to seeing. He's been more active the last 2 years. But overall, there's a lot of spurts where he had a lot of inactivity in his career, different spouts of the UFC to where we thought he was going to be released and whatnot. So, but I say all that to say that I like the way that Brian Ortega actually started off that fight. against Yair Rodriguez the last time out, and unfortunately the fight ended the way it did. But Ortega was actually looking to actually get the fight to the ground to get it to where he's most dominant. And I still think there's that hole in Yair Rodriguez's game where he can get taken down. And I think he gets taken down. He's content with getting taken down because he can throw different submissions off his back and whatnot. But I think you go down there and you're content with Brian Ortega. I think that's something that he's going to relish in. And I think T City can sneak out a sub, man. I do. So I'm going to go T City here. As long as he utilizes his wrestling, just you cannot stand there and try to get in a kickboxing match with Yair, because if you do, you're mincemeat. But other than that, yeah, I think Ortega comes in here and gets the sub, man. It gets the upset win.
Surprising, dude. Surprising. I did not expect you to go that way. I think you even picked Yair in the last fight. So you called the last fight correctly, then called the title shot after between Yair and Josh Emmett, dude. So that's absolutely nuts. And then now you're swapping it up and you're going T-City to defeat Yair Rodriguez. So that would be an interesting fight, dude. I would love to see it. I'm a T-City fan. Hopefully prove me wrong, dude. I hope T-City is still good. 33 years old, not out of his prime yet.
Not too old, man. Not too old. He's still right dude, there, dude.
I just think just the damage, inactivity, and shoulder injuries. I think that might do it. But hey, hopefully I'm wrong and we get the return of T-City this weekend. We got Lush Day and Zell, who we're going to pick Prado apart. I think I already clicked that one. Wow. Indeed, I did pick. And we got Rodriguez by decision. That's which way Lush is going. Anyone know what Yair said to Bisping when he snapped on him? You know what Lush is talking about, Deros?
No, I'm not quite. No, I'm not quite sure.
Gotcha. Jim Clark's like saying D Rose has the script. Yeah, D Rose has the 145-pound script. Well, clearly not, because he picked Volk this past weekend. Yeah. So
I got different. Off my scent somehow.
Yeah, different pick again. D Rose on T City, Brian Ortega, and I am on the favorite Yair El Pantera Rodriguez. So, main event time, y'all. So, if y'all haven't already, please do us a favor and hit that thumbs up button for your boys over here. So, main event, we've got Brandon Moreno versus Raw Dog Brandon Royval. Numero dos. Again, number 2, D-Rose.
Two.
Dos. So the assassin baby, Brandon Moreno, is 21-7-2 overall, while Raw Dog Brandon Royval is 15-7 overall. The assassin baby, Brandon Moreno, has won 3 of his last 5, and so has Raw Dog Brandon Royval. Both fighters' last loss is to the current champion, Alexandre Pantoja, via decision for both of them, split decision for assassin baby, while unanimous decision for Royval there. So currently odds for this are -310 for the assassin baby Brandon Moreno and a +230 for Raw Dog Brandon Royval. The assassin baby is 30 years old, 5'7" and a 70-inch reach, while the Raw Dog Brandon Royval is 31 years old, 5'9" and a 70-inch reach. D Rose, if I would have asked you who's younger here, I would have said Raw Dog is younger, but no. Brandon Royval is the older of the 2 fighters here, so that's kind of odd to see. Truly, dude, I just see the assassin baby being the more durable fighter, the stronger fighter, more powerful fighter, the more physical fighter, if you will. I think Raw Dog is willing to get taken down because he believes in his jiu-jitsu, but in his last fight, not in his last fight, where in his last fight it did happen, but he was just controlled on the ground. But in these two's first fight, kind of got taken down, and his arm got hurt just due to just power control. So I don't know, dude. I think Raw Dog might just have durability issues, man. I don't know. I just got to go assassin baby here to end up probably submitting Raw Dog at 3rd, 4th round, something like that. It might get to decision, but we're at elevation, dude. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows the way 125ers fight? But it's going to be an interesting fight. 125-pound main event, dude. I mean, I'm personally excited for it. Two of the best 125ers in the world. I'm just going the Assassin Baby, third round via submission. Which way are you going, D-Rose?
Yeah, I'm going to be curious to see. I'm curious to see what the line will be for Moreno, maybe 4-5 or decision, because I could see him maybe potentially getting a finish late or getting a decision win here. But I do think that, you know, Royval, he's very content with getting taken down. As you said, believes in his jiu-jitsu, likes throwing up triangles, like throwing up elbows and everything of the sort. And I know you're not going to pick. I know you picked against Zellhuber, but you know, for the most part, you're not going to pick against fighters you got a picture with. And in this case, I'm not going to either. But it's because I think Moreno is just the overall better fighter between the two. Even though I love watching Royval fight, he's probably the most exciting flyweight to watch. But sometimes that's at a cost to his win-loss record at times as well. And I think just the more technical fighter Moreno utilized a little bit more of his wrestling, you know, able to take Royval down. And I think he could potentially get a submission either later in the fight or by decision. But I might look at Moreno, like I said, maybe 4 or 5 or decision on a betting line.
Fair enough. So me and D-Rose both on the Assassin Baby, Brandon Moreno this week. So D-Rose has the script. Why you have to do D-Rose? Yeah, you know.
I know
it was during a post-fight interview. He went off on Bisping. Who knows? Like, I think that, you know, fighters get really sensitive, man. You know, if you don't pick them, it is what it is. Derek Goofer saying the Assassin Baby, 4th round TKO. And we got Chab saying, let's go, Brandon. Yeah, dear. I bet Brandon wins the main event this weekend. How about that?
Yeah. No, I 1,000% agree. I 1,000% agree. Brandon should be able to win.
All right, dude. We have 6 different picks this weekend, man. So your boy is the reigning and defending pick champ. I have been lucky enough, you know, blessed to be able to pick the fights that our pick champ went on the past few weeks, but you know, for the most part, we've just had 3, so I didn't have anyone really to pick. Occasionally, I got to throw one off, but D Rose has the option of throwing 3 of these bad boys off. We have 3 different fights that we are going to pick on, and give D Rose a chance to win the pick champ back, and have a chance for me to have to eat some Bean Boozled, or you know, hopefully D Rose have to eat Stinky Socks and Stink Bug Bean Boozled because he got lucky this past weekend.
No, not at all. I was going to go with.
Here we go. Lush saying 7 picks.
Yeah,
I ran out of room. So there's another one.
Yair and Ortega. That was the last one. Which I remember that one.
Holy smokes, crazy.
Yeah, I remember that one. But yeah, I think I'm actually.
Hold on, just real quick. Lush gave a membership out, so you know, shout out whoever got the free membership here on the channel. You know, Lush, a guy that's always hooking up the channel, gave out a free membership right here. So make sure you thank Lush if you were the one to get the free membership. So once again, thank Lush just for donating membership here on the channel. And whoever it is, you know, you won't be disappointed. Tons of chances at UFC cards and everything like that. So, you know, shout out Lush Low Man. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, D-Rose.
No, you're fine. No, I was going to just pick the fights. I'm a little more nervous about picking the Yair and Ortega fight, putting that in our picks. So I'm going to leave that one out. I am going to include the 3 fights will be Daniel Zellhuber and Francisco Prado. Let's go Manuel Torres and Chris Duncan. And then let's go Claudio Puelles versus Farziem. I think those would be the 3 we'll throw in there.
So you're giving me the 2 dogs that I have.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
So D-Rose giving me no shot to really win. I'm really pulling for my fucking D-Rose going to pick all these dogs throughout the night. Like, yeah, give me the dog here. Yeah, give me the dog here. And then when it's time for the pick champ, I have 2 dogs on the entire card. D-Rose is like, give them the dogs. Give 'em the dogs.
You damn right. You damn right. Hey, if you had to have more favorites, I probably would have went Ortega and Yair. But I mean, come on, you gave me Prado, and Zellhuber, and Puelas as well coming off that last performance. I mean, come on, you can't give me those.
You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. No membership. It's a highlight match. Well, either way, I appreciate you, Lutch. You are the man. Let's see. No, Derek, you are that guy. So, all right. So, once again, different fights for this weekend are Claudio Poyas versus Faras Ziam, Chris Duncan versus Manuel Torres, and Francisco Prado versus Daniel Zellhuber. Correct? Those are our 3 different fights for this weekend. All right. 3 different fights for this weekend. Pick champ up on the line, having to eat the bean boozled. Anything you want to talk about before we get out of here, brother?
No, man. I think we pretty much covered it all, and I'm not eating a damn bean this week. So let's go.
All right, don't be too confident, man. Don't be too confident because we rolling. We rolling off this past weekend. The cheddar chain. Don't make me bring it back out this weekend, baby. Make me bring this cheddar chain back out this weekend. But yeah.
Hey, which you did hit a good little lick, but that is the first time you've had that belt in your corner this year. Let's just say
that. You know, it is what it is. Wait, I think I had it one week. Right?
Nah, I've had it the whole year. I've had it the whole year.
I haven't had it 1 week at all.
I haven't ate any beans until last week. Last week was the first time I had to eat any beans.
Well, at the beginning, I think we started bean eating on the 4th card of the year. Like the first 3 cards, we look like we didn't fucking do anything for. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think I could have swore that I had it for 1 week, but I don't know. If I didn't,
sure I ran this thing. Yeah, I've ran this thing all year pretty much. As Lush. I
mean, well, don't get too confident. There's been 5 cards, D-Rose, so you know you got 4 of them. 4 out of the 5. Don't be too confident. Don't be too confident, even if you are 4 out of 5. Because guess what?
5 out of 6.
I'm about to fucking smoke your ass. You know what? Yeah, get too cocky, D-Rose, and watch what happens. You're eating stink bugs next weekend. Yeah. Anyway, I think D-Rose is right. Yeah, he probably is. It's okay, but you know. There's only been a few cards this year, so it is what it is. Yeah, but we appreciate you guys. Stay safe. See all you members for Change the Cheddar on Friday. Yeah, indeed. Shout out Lush. We'll see you Friday. Lush talking about Change the Cheddar will be on Friday for members exclusive. So if you're not a member and you want to be a member here on the channel, you can do that. The link is in the description below. Yeah, $5 a month. You get exclusive videos, chats here, a chance to win UFC cards every single fight week. And at the end of the month, we're going to do a duck race for a whole bunch of free UFC cards. So, you know, yeah, help me help you get some UFC cards, extra content. Yeah, all of that good shit. But with that being said, my name is Matt. I'm my cough. D-Rose is on that side of your screen. Yeah, man, I guess we'll catch you guys. I'll catch you guys Friday for Change of Cheddar. And D-Rose, see you here back next weekend unless you want to join me, but you know it's okay, man. With that being said, Matt, D-Rose, and we'll catch y'all later. Peace.